What's up, everybody? It is I, Sigma, and we are back with episode 61 of the BBET GamesCast. I am joined by Superman Jeff.
It's your favorite superhero. What's going on, everybody?
As well as Mr. Gamer.
Hello there.
And Blue Bones.
It's your boy. What's going on, everybody?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's just the four of us. It's been a while since it's just been us here, the full squad, back together again like we never left. But as we always do, we'll start things off with what we've been playing / watching for the week. Does anybody want to go first?
I'll go first. I don't have much.
Okay, he got it.
As far as playing, I've done some Destiny. The season of Solstice is finishing up. Well, the Solstice event. So I got the max armor for that. That was fun to do. So that helped boost me up to 1060.
What's the max again?
I feel like it's 1070 right now.
Oh, wow. So you getting there.
Okay, so you're too far.
Yeah, I'm pretty close. So right now I want to start doing all the raids before they start back cataloging stuff, because they're going to be taking away some planets and stuff like that.
Right.
What do you mean taking away planets? Hold on.
Like, Mars is going away. They're going to put that in the vault.
Were they like blowing up Mars like it don't exist no more?
Oh, no. It's just, you won't be able to access the planet anymore. They're doing that they're doing that so they can roll out new content. So they're rolling back some of it. Because right now you got all these planets. Some of the planets you don't even go to because there's nothing...
Yeah, there's nothing useful there. It was like story-related stuff or like expansion stuff from way back when. It's not relevant anymore. So they're like, you know what? Let's just put this away, and then it makes more space, for, I guess, on their servers for other stuff to happen. Because you could still go there technically if it was on the map, right? And then they'd have to support people fooling around on Mars for no real reason.
Yeah, because like they're bringing back like the Vault of Glass, so they got to bring back Venus, which is another planet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing they're gonna do some story content just related to Venus, because you can't just go there just for the Vault of Glass. So gonna have to be something else to go on there.
That makes sense.
And then Beyond Light comes out in November, so that's gonna be a whole new element, a whole new subclass, a bunch of new stuff with it. They have like artifacts for that subclass that you can then alter that artifact. So like when you hit a frozen enemy, it'll automatically bring back your melee weapon, and when your melee weapon comes back, you can have it do something ridiculous. Like I was watching a stream, and they had I believe it was the Warlock subclass, and he has like a staff, and a hunter was using Golden Gun, and he hit him with the stasis grenade, and it froze him in ice or whatever that is, and then he just meleeed him and shattered him.
Oh my gosh.
I was like,
that stasis power did look super cool.
Ridiculous. It did, yes.
But that's gonna cost money. I know everything is free on Game Pass right now in terms of Destiny, but this most recent expansion is gonna be like another $20?
Most likely, and so far it looks like it's worth it. If they're going to be bringing back all the stuff they're talking about and a new subclass, new weapons, they're going to be Vulcan weapons too, so that way they can roll out newer weapons.
So does that mean that you just won't be able to get them as drops? Because I'm sure some people already have them in their inventory.
Correct. So if you already have them in your inventory, they're going to be capped out at a certain light. So you won't be able to infuse anything into that weapon to get it higher than that cap of light.
Okay.
Light cap.
Light cap. There you go.
Yeah, makes sense.
I did a lot of PvP. I got a sidearm build I'm working on.
Little John Wayne action.
It's pretty good. So it's a pulse rifle, and so the pulse rifle, they work hand in hand with the sidearm. So when I get pulse rifle kills, it charges me with light. So if I get multi kills, so if I get 2 kills in a Crucible, like pretty close together, I get charged with light. When I get charged with light, when I change to my hand cannon, my sidearm, or reload it, those bullets do double damage.
That's scary.
Yes, and I'm using it with an exotic called the Devil's Ruin. Mm-hmm. It's a solar sidearm, which is pretty fast. You can shoot individual shots, or you can hold the charge, and it shoots out like a laser fusion rifle, and it empties the clip. So I just dick behind cover, pop out with a fully charged shot, and it just kills you in one whole clip. You're just dead.
That's dope.
That's wild.
I'm glad the weapons are still, exciting and inventive in that game.
Yes. I think that's my favorite exotic, like, since I've came back playing. And they added mods too, which add another level to the game, where mods work together. So you might have like a sword build, where when you use a heavy attack from your sword, you get heavy ammo back. I saw one like that. So it's pretty cool. And I think with Stasis coming along, they showed a lot more customability. I think they showed the amount of artifact slots with the modifiers to them led to like 320 different combinations that you could possibly come up with. And what they did was, instead of making the artifacts items that come into your inventory, you actually find these items in the world by doing different things, and then you're able to pick it up. And what that allows them to do is it allows them to constantly change those artifacts. I forget exactly how to describe it, but because it's something that you find in the world, it can constantly be modified and add different ones, as opposed to doing a quest and it goes to your inventory. What they were saying was it makes it a lot harder to modify that item once it's kind of been set as a default, whatever the roles are or whatever the stats are going to be on it. Besides Destiny, I actually played some nothing. I didn't play nothing. I watched The Boys. I watched 2 episodes of The Boys.
Right.
Season 2.
The first 3 dropped at once, right? Is that how they did it?
I think they're all out now.
Early.
All of them?
It came early. Because it was supposed to come out the 5th, wasn't it?
It was supposed to come out the 4th. They dropped 3 episodes on the 3rd. And I heard that they were dropping 1 episode a week, but I haven't checked myself.
Oh, see, because I never look at the list of how many are in there. I just watch like bits and pieces. For something that has like 9 episodes, if I see that it has 9 episodes and I get to 4, I start to pull back.
Yep, 100%.
So I'm like, let's just watch. Let's just see. But I'm on the end of episode 2, and man, it definitely picks off where the last one left off. It still gives you those feelings, you know what I'm saying? Like that excitement. It hasn't dropped a beat since, this could have been just part of season 1. That's how fluid it is.
Flawless it was. Okay.
Yeah, it just rolls right into each other.
Nice, they just keep the momentum up.
Yeah, which is awesome. I mean, it's like sometimes you watch something, you finish the season is built up, boom, climax.
Yeah.
Season's over. Season 2 comes back. Then it's a slow grind back.
They'll do
and
some
it's almost a whole different show.
Sometimes they'll do the thing where, this big reveal just happened, and then the next season is way back in time. Yeah. Like now look at this story from this other person's perspective and give them a whole 3, 4, 5 episodes until you get back to where you were.
Here's another thing they've been doing recently too. The second season starts like months or years after that big drop,
right,
and everybody's different, and you're trying to figure out like, what did that big drop do to make everyone
right? Oh my God,
this?
The Walking Dead absolutely did all those things.
Man,
in very annoying fashion.
Corny. And then so all the conversations of the first episode, like, since the event, blah 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 happened. It's like, son,
since the cataclysm took place, and it's like, remember what they used to like first season. The main protagonist got badass. He's like, he's powerful. He's kicking ass at the end of the season. Next season start, he got like depowered. He got nerfed. You know what I'm saying? He got flu and all his powers went away. And it's like, we got to figure a way. We got to go back to Shoe Island to see the Sage to figure out how to get those abilities back. And it's like, okay. And it's like, I know what he's capable of. Now you took me back down to here, and now I'm like, it's a slow grind.
A lot of video games do that too.
They do.
You start off with the overpowered version, and then you get nerfed. Destiny did it.
Destiny did do that.
Destiny 2. Yeah.
They did do that.
Shoot.
The Force Unleashed did that as well, because you start out as Darth Vader, and you're going through the Wookiee home planet, and then they
that's
switch
a little
you
different.
Over. No, it's like, oh, this is what the Force is capable of. Then they put you back in Starkiller, and then you got to build back up there.
But it's not the same character though.
No. But it gives you like a taste of real power.
Yeah, that's something that games do often too, and they tie it into the narrative like that too.
Yeah,
because I think Prototype even started that way. But was that it for
last
what you're watching?
Got a high school. was amazing. Amazing. Like I'm
yes.
not even amazing.
It was
Yes.
electronically amazing.
Yes.
Electric. It was the most exciting, electric, whatever you want to call it, episode that I've seen thus far. And maybe even start reading the manga. And the manga
The
is
webtoon.
yes, the webtoon is completely different.
Oh, really?
Wait, hold on.
Yes, stuff that
'Cause-
happened didn't happen in the anime. Like
You
a
know
lot
what?
of it.
Is there like
I
more
was
stuff?
watching
Oh,
the
sorry. Go ahead.
I was watching the behind the scenes on Crunchyroll, and they did say one episode will be like 4 or 5 chapters that they condense down. So
Yeah.
I actually do believe it. But apparently, most of their scenes that were in the anime were like shot for shot of the
Mhm.
places in time in the webtoons.
Yeah.
So now you got me excited to read that
Yeah,
because
they-
this story
they
is amazing.
They left a lot out. That fight me and you were talking about was completely
Yeah.
different in the webtoon. Completely
Ooh.
different.
Okay,
Completely
okay,
different.
okay.
And I think the anime did a good job though at cutting and pasting what they did do. Cause like you don't feel like anything's missing. You're like,
son,
oh
not in
yeah,
the slightest.
yeah. And even when I read it, I still thought the anime version did an amazing job. So, kudos to them for adapting. Because a lot of times you know people like, oh well, the manga was better. The manga was this. When something's taken out of the manga or let's say the anime into the movie, it often causes like a plot hole or
Yeah.
confusion or whatever. Movies often do that when they take stuff from books and kind of just mismatch what they're going to use. But I think they did a great job of putting all that together: the choreography, the fight, the backstory of that little situation of what was going on,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
even just the character progression from being this happy-go-lucky guy who just wanted to
I
fight
love it.
to being like,
He's so serious right now.
yes,
He is
yes,
so serious right now.
yes.
But we don't have to get too far into that.
Nah.
But
But that's all I got for you.
All
yo,
right.
I have to say, God of High School. I'm just waiting for this season to end to say that this is on my top 10 animes of all time. Just so I know that it had a good conclusion, because I don't want to call it early.
Like
you know what I'm saying?
imagine if the last episode just completely undoes all of your
Exactly.
affection. Like how? I wonder how it could even do that from the way you guys talk about it.
Let's say just
Man,
like
I'm flying too high on this one right
the
now.
power
I'm
went
really
out
close to-
in the stadium and you didn't get to see the fight, and it was like, oh.
That was an amazing finish. Anyway, yeah, that's all I had to say about God of High School. Do you mind if I go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool. Yes, just like Jeff said, been watching God of High School. It's amazing. I love it. I've also been watching Great Pretender. I finished the second part of Great Pretender. It is such a heartwarming and exciting story, and it's just beautifully done. Like when I say this is like a painting come to life, their backgrounds are mwah. Like I don't know how else to describe this show. It feels so good to watch it.
Do you know who the anime house is?
Oh,
that's
I
behind
don't. I need to figure that out. I thought it was Trigger initially because
Yeah, because
some
the look of it when I saw the preview it did remind me of Trigger.
but it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not Trigger. I'll fact check that for you guys in a little bit. But Great Pretender is amazing. Catch Me If You Can vibes with great anime sequences with just amazing music. You're talking cowboy bebop music. Like there's really good. Every moment is just painted perfectly so far. So this is also another anime that I can see being on my top 10.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a different vibe than God of High School for sure, but every moment feels like you're taking a sip of fine wine. There it is.
Fine wine. Boom.
There
What was
it
the name
is.
of this anime? I saw it on
Great Pretender on Netflix. Yeah. So I'm finishing up the third. Well, I just got into the third part of it right now, and while each part is definitely connected. You know, you have characters who go through the whole thing, but they feel like their own complete stories. Like I stopped after the first part, and I'm like, okay, I can rest for a little bit. It felt like a season, because it's like one whole arc. But
It's by Wit Studio, WIT Studio,
Wit Studio.
Okay, yeah, I've never heard of it.
I definitely need to look up what else they've done, because this is fantastic.
When you say
Okay.
parts, though, is that like a couple of episodes, or is it like each episode is like
About
a different
five.
Okay, so like they
Yeah.
break it up that way.
Yeah. They break it up in cases, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil exactly what's going on in this show. The trailer does a really good job of setting you up for the show. So if you're interested in it, I normally don't suggest watching trailers, but if you really have to, this is a good trailer to watch.
Oh,
What's up?
side note, not side note, but to add to it, which studio did the first couple seasons of Attack on Titan?
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Okay, so these guys have some notches in their belt.
Nice.
Let's get into what I've been playing now. I'm kind of doing it backwards. This week I streamed Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles with my good friend Tiger Piggy. We had a really good time. That game is so relaxing that you forget that sometimes there's going to be mechanics to these fights. And the only reason why I say that is because it's relatively slow movement. You're all in the bubble. You know what I mean? And you kind of move slow because one person has to hold the chalice going at that speed. But then some of the boss fights get really intense and they crowd you. And so you have to really strategize who's moving the chalice. If anybody's moving the chalice, who's going to heal, who's going to fight, different things like that. So it always kind of wakes you up just as it gets too relaxing. But this story is very, very dark. As you guys know, very generally, there's miasma everywhere. It's poison all over the world, and these crystals are kind of bubbles that house people and they make them safe. Your job is to go and recharge your hometown's crystals so they can live. One of the dungeons that you go through that we went through on stream is a town where their caravan didn't come back. And so this whole place is destroyed. And it's sad because there's monsters everywhere. And you feel really bad for killing anything in there. But you're trying to... There's a myrrh tree in the back that supposedly grew. And they're still trying to figure out like how you're able to recharge your crystal there. And this place died out. So there's a lot of mystery that's getting involved too. But it was very solemn actually kind of going through that dungeon, knowing it really put the weight of holding that chalice in your hands in perspective. So that was really dope.
This is your
all
first
four of us
playthrough of it?
So
Like,
this is my
have you
first
played it before?
complete playthrough.
Okay.
I had started it before when I was younger on the GameCube. Never got this far because I didn't really understand how to play it. And it was so difficult to play multiplayer, and I had a little brother, so we phased out on it.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. But I got the time now, and I got the attention span. I was going to say all four of us got together this week and played golf with friends.
True.
Y'all suck. Next.
What do you got? What?
I think Gamer won every one, or
He won
Sigma, you
most
won
of
one,
them
right?
for sure. I don't know if I won. I know
Most
I
of
was in the lead for a time before the game
Yeah.
screwed me over in one form or fashion, as golf with friends is known to do. But
Right. Yeah. But it was a lot of fun. I think it was worth mentioning. We're so busy and we're all exploring other games and hitting so many people's community. We don't always get a chance to link up, but I'm glad we did this week, and I wanted to let folks know that we still in there, bro.
it was a good time.
We had a really funny time on GTA 5 for Free for All Friday. I made that clip with the watch out for that lamppost.
Oh man, I saw that.
Definitely check it out on Twitter if you have it. What was that?
Yeah, when you were parachuting and was circling around.
Man, I was trying to... When I was going over the first pass, I was like, crap, I didn't land. I don't have no kind of turn radius to come back around, but I'm going to try. And I did that wide swing, and
Man.
watch the clip.
I wish we would have clipped when Gamer was trying to land on that same platform because his character hit it, but then she like smacked on the ground and then did a whole backflip in the opposite direction. It was too funny to me.
Oh my goodness. But last but definitely not least, I did some streaming of this too, Spellbreak, and I played with a lot of the guys on the BBET server, Discord server. Spellbreak is fun.
Agreed.
It's new. It's still got some development to do, but I'm having a good time with it, man.
Yeah.
Being able to kind of play a battle royale and build a character seems fun to me. You know, it really feels that RPG element. I'm leveling up in a specific element, the rock element right now, and I feel like a earthbender. And I'm like, yeah, that's my main. That's my job. Whenever I land, I'm getting the first fights because I got more armor from the get-go. That's my play style. And I like being able to change your play style by choosing your element from the get-go. We won't go too far into that because I still got a lot more research to do on Spellbreak, but it's fun. And the crossplay works seamlessly.
Yeah. You don't even know you're playing with somebody on another console.
Exactly. Oh, and that being said, going back real quick, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles had crossplay, same kind of deal. You don't even know what system they're on. So
like I love hearing that because I want everything that's multiplayer to get on that like as soon as possible.
Yeah. But that's what I got. That's what I've been watching and playing this week.
Nice. If you don't mind, gamer, I can go next because I don't have that much either.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was actually also playing Spellbreak with Blue and Jeff.
Oh yeah, we got a win.
Yeah, I think it was our first team game. I think.
Let's just tell how you left me in blue.
What do you mean? I didn't leave anything. All right, so the last match that we were planning to play, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think we were in the process of dropping, or we had just finished dropping, or something, and it was thunderstorming where I was, and all the power cut out. Like just immediately.
No, it was the one before that. We were like, you're like, oh, I'll be right back. So we're sitting there, and we're waiting with.
But that's because someone was dropping something at the house. So
I'm just saying.
But I mean, before that, me and Blue had to play like 2 matches solo because Jeff was out getting groceries or something. I don't know what he was doing.
Very true. You stay eating, bro.
He was eating a whole sandwich in the background, and we sit here getting firewalls put up in front of us.
I smelled it by the way he was smacking.
But anyway, like Blue was saying, yeah, Spellbreak is a good time. Like I've been following that game. It's been in like early access or some form of beta for like a really long time, like several years at this point, I think. And I always liked the concept of you're like wielding different powers, different elemental-based powers that combine in different ways, whether they're coming from you or whether they're coming from your teammates or even from the enemy. So like you can take advantage or neutralize other people's powers by just knowing the right combinations and, you know, having them at your disposal. So like there's a lot of synergy, a lot of like counterplay that comes into it. And unlike a lot of other battle royales, like I like the movement. Like it's a third person thing, but like you can jump and double jump, you can float really high.
Hover.
Yeah, there are all these movement abilities that you can get hold of that lets you dash around and like zoom through the air. Like that fly ability is like really,
it's
like
godlike.
It's like super fast flying through the sky. Like it looks cool. Like it feels good. It's a really fun time. I only wish they would stop doing this 3-person squad thing. Like I want a bigger group of people to be able to play something like this. Like why is it always 3? I don't know. I blame Destiny. I feel like Destiny was the first one in this generation to go, you know what? Forget all this 4-player nonsense that Nintendo put in place. I want 3 people. And then everyone was like, you know what? I guess if they can do it, we can do it. So, I don't know.
It hurts me.
But Spellbreak is fun time. I definitely want to put more time into that. Other than Spellbreak, I had to review 2 games at the same time this week for Escapist. The first of which is Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. I don't know if you guys got to play it when it first released back in 2012.
Yep.
It's literally the same game. Like it's called Re-Reckoning, but I don't think they ever use the terminology. Oh, it's a remaster, it's a reboot, it's a rematch. No, like they try to squeeze in the fact that they really didn't do anything at all to this title. They just put it out again.
They went to synonyms.com and like, how do you say remastering without saying remaster?
Like if you have played it before, like I mean, unless you really just want to play it again, like the exact same thing again, I don't really know why you'd grab it. Like it's still a very good game. If you remember, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning was surprisingly good. Like I was talking to you guys about R.A. Salvatore earlier. He actually did the writing for the lore in this game, so it's quality. Like it's a very dense world, tons of characters, tons of like names and places and jargon. Like I'm not the biggest fantasy guy, so like a lot of that stuff I kind of just skim through, but I can tell like a lot of effort was put into making everything make sense. Like the world existed for like a ton of time before you're there.
Because if you remember, it was supposed to lead into another game.
Right. They were.
I remember this game.
Yeah.
Yes, it has a lot of controversy surrounding the studio that made it.
Oh my god.
Kurt Schilling, ex-baseball player, founded 38 Studios because he was a huge World of Warcraft fan. Like he'd be playing it like while they were on like the bus going between games and whatnot. And when he retired, he took a lot of his millions in the state of Rhode Island where he played baseball and built a studio. But he also managed to get money from the state of Rhode Island. Like they sponsored him. He's so close with like that city and its inhabitants and the government and whatnot. They're like, look, sure, we'll fund the studio. So like you guys, you'll make all your money and you'll pay back, the city. It'll be good for business and the economy in this region, right? But
that is ridiculous to me, right there. Like that part of the.
It's an insane story. It's a really insane story. But what ended up happening is the game came out. It was actually very good. But a lot of that money just never made it back. Like, it just didn't make back its money. It might have to do with the fact that Skyrim released the same year, I want to say about a month earlier.
Yeah.
And, like, those games are very similar. Like, they do a lot of the same things. Skyrim was but Skyrim was Skyrim.
Son, when I picked up Skyrim, I did not understand where my time was about to go. You know what I mean? Like,
so I mean, call it
for an hour.
Yeah, call it bad luck, bad timing, whatnot. But either way, like the fact that studio was indebted to the state of Rhode Island caused significant headaches. The entire thing imploded. It's part of the reason why I think THQ eventually. Well, no, I'm sorry. I might be mixing that up with something else. But essentially, like, the entire game studio was basically sold off. So THQ eventually picked up the license, I believe. So they're the ones who are re-releasing it now. But, I don't know. They're saying that there's going to be new DLC for it coming eventually. But this DLC is only going to add about 5 or so hours to the experience. And the game, has, upwards of hundreds of hours. So I don't know how that counts as an expansion. It's like, is there something? Is there a word that better describes what that would be?
A mention.
Like
we put another button on the jacket,
right?
So
like
it's a new jacket.
Yeah, it just seems ridiculous. But other than that, I've been having a ton of fun with a game called Hot Shot Racing.
Ooh.
Now,
okay.
To be honest, now that I'm thinking about it, this podcast drops when? The 8th?
Do we need a?
So I don't think I can talk about that.
Went back.
Yeah, I don't think I can talk about that. But
and I just said you was talking about that.
I'm not gonna talk about it publicly. I just realized. But keep a lookout for that review because it'll probably be out before the game is out. So you'll hopefully you'll be able to see my thoughts on it about the time when this podcast comes out. But it just won't be out yet. So we'll give that some more time. But other than that, I've been watching Better Call Saul, which is the prequel series to Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
It's a completely different story. Like it's not very much tied at all, at least not yet, because I'm in like the second season now, to anything that's going on in Breaking Bad proper. But they do this really cool thing because my girlfriend Kia is actually watching Breaking Bad for the first time on her own. Because like she's been trying to get into it forever. So every now and then I'll like sit and like watch some of the episode with her and then I'll go do something else. But because we're watching Better Call Saul, she's watching both at the same time. And it's like, oh, Saul said something about this in Breaking Bad. And I got to see, he specifically said in a situation that we was talking to Walter, he said, I once convinced a girl that I was, not Kurt Russell. Who's Dancing with Wolves guy?
Dancing with Wolves. Google.
Why am I blanking on this man's name?
Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner.
You lying.
He said, I once convinced a girl that I was Kevin Costner, and it was because I believed it. That's what he says to Walt. It's not a real situation. It's just something that comes out of his mouth in that scene, right? But in Better Call Saul, you see an entire scenario where he was doing something else and that situation plays out. Like, very naturally. Like, it doesn't come up as if, like, if I hadn't seen it just the other day, I would never have thought, oh, that's a callback to Breaking Bad. But I just thought that was really cool how, like, they know the character so well, like, they know the world so well that they just, like, tie in these little details here and there. Like, another thing was, like, where he went to school. Right. It's literally just a single shot when Walter's wife first comes in and meets him and sees his office. She looks at his degree on the wall that says American University of Samoa. because that's like a joke that he's kind of a shifty lawyer, right?
Right.
But there's a scene where he basically is telling his brother how he got his law degree, and it's this whole rigmarole about how he, it was an online thing at American University of Samoa. So everything just ties in together and they make it make sense in like a very satisfying way. So I thought that was like really cool. Like, I'm really enjoying the show.
That's what prequels should do. They should make it make sense. That's exactly what they should do. You know what I mean? Everything that you saw ahead of time should be further explained in an entertaining way.
Absolutely.
Right. But that's pretty much it for me. What do you got, Gamer?
I started playing seriously D&D, actually.
Yay.
So I've participated in a lot of D&D campaigns, but this is the first one that I'm actually running.
Oh, you're the dungeon master then?
Yes. Yes, I am. Blue is in my campaign as well.
Oh, interesting.
Hello.
Yeah. This is for every person who plays D&D listening to this podcast, and you are a dungeon master, I do not envy what you do at all.
I be stressing them out, yo.
It is not easy in the slightest. Not one bit. For reference, during the first introductory session, I introduced the group to essentially the person who's going to be giving them their orders. This is, mind you, the fourth NPC that I've introduced to them. And one of the characters, first thing that they want to do, I cast Vicious Mockery. You do what? Why? What? Why?
So you gotta explain to them what Vicious Mockery is.
Is it what it sounds like?
I was going to. So, Vicious Mockery is a spell where essentially I am using my words, forming them into a dagger that's supposed to stab the back of your brain.
Wait, like
is that
physically?
A level 1 spell?
Yes, that is a level 1 spell.
What version are you playing?
5E.
5E. That's a level 1 spell. So you can imagine kind of the interesting thing where it's like, congratulations, you've all graduated from basic training. This is the person that's going to be giving you your missions. Your rival, such and such. I cast Vicious Mockery. And it's like, boom, all right, we're going to start some murder. And then I introduce these people. All right, here you are. The object you've been looking for is right there. It's just right there. And, there happen to be some cult looking like squirrels surrounding them, but that was it. And another one of the people in the party just decided, you know what? I'm going to stab one. So, that's one squirrel down and more just kind of multiply from there. And then it's like, oh, okay, then
creepy.
I'm going to, stab some more. And then those fall. And then it just gets bigger. And then eventually...
It was like, stop stabbing.
like, one of these things is going to stop. So, it's fantastic. And at first, you get tired because it's a mental strain keeping everyone separate, like every NPC, every little interaction. But then I woke up this morning and I instantly just started writing the next session.
You get inspired.
you just go right back into it. Like I wasn't tired at all. So that basically encompasses everything that I've been playing. It's been mentally tasking to make this, but when you're actually doing it and you're hearing the dice rolls as good or as bad as they will be, like, investigate that door. You know what? It looks like something that resembles a door.
Okay, so
but
I
I'm
rolled
not
a
quite
3.
sure. 2.
No, it was a 3. Either way, it was super
Either way,
low.
it was a bad roll.
I was investigating a door to see if there's booby trapped or nothing like that. I rolled super, super low. And so my character's like, I think this is a door, y'all. I'm not sure. It's got the whole shape thingy, but everyone else is going like, oh, this is a magical item. Oh, this is a trap. And I'm like, this is possible. So I thought that stuff's funny. I've DM'd games myself, and there's nothing more rewarding than when you see your player door. And I think you might have got a taste of that last. Yeah, man.
Oh, yes. Being able to figure out, like, oh, yes, I'm going to present you with this thing. You have 2 shinies and a door. You could just leave if you want. But no, of course not. They're going to touch the shiny things.
You have to.
Right, you gotta poke at the boundaries.
Yeah, of course.
I'm glad you brought up like kind of a real like world tabletop game, because I actually did play Jumanji last night, like the board game.
Okay, just fundamentally, that's messed up, bro. Like, why would you?
Right?
Why would you
like if
Jumanji?
Like, forgetting about like the Rock and the Kevin Hart version, like the original Robin Williams Jumanji, it's a bad idea to play that game, which was my whole point. But Kia and Adam wanted to play Jumanji, so
that's cute.
I found it actually really interesting how they made a board game based on that movie work, because essentially it's all the players against the game and not necessarily against each other. Like, you're not trying to really win. The game like gives you scenarios that tell you, oh, somebody's in trouble, you gotta roll your dice that has these symbols. First of all, there was like hella rules. Like he was like reading the rules every time he did a move, because like it's mad complicated. Yep. It's like, if you land on this space, then a rhino sits in front of you, and if you do this, then that means you move backwards, but the rhino follows you. But you gotta roll an even number so that the rhino goes back to the. It's like, what the hell is happening to this?
The movie made that work too. They showed how complicated that game was. Like,
it's funny, but it makes sense, because it's like the game is trying to keep you in the game. Like, it actively stops you from like progressing, and you got to try to help each other, help somebody get to the end, because that's the only way you're allowed to stop playing. Because if the game wins, that means you have to start over. Like, you just got to keep playing. So of course there's nothing that forces you to do it, but it's just a fun concept to think about. Like, okay, this game has not ended in like days. Like, we got to finish the game.
In
but
my
it was
mind,
a good time.
Jumanji is an equivalent to a Ouija board. Like, I'm not touching it.
That was cool. What was that it for you, gamer, or did you have other stuff?
So what I started watching what Agretzko has been released. I watched the first episode of it, and boy, do they start jumping sharks. Like,
I think you mentioned that last week.
And I tried to get to the second episode, and I'm not. They're making this really hard. They're making it really. It's. Unfortunately, Agretzko right now is in the same box as BoJack Horseman. It hurts me so much to watch this.
I didn't realize it got that like sad.
Yeah, that dark.
Well, it's okay. I don't want you to think about it as just sad. I want you to think of it as just heart-tugging emotions, whether it's anger or whether it's sadness or whether it's despair that you feel. Some of it is, yes. Some of it is, yes, but like season 1 and 2 were like that as well. But I can clearly see where they are really hitting, like they are really up in the ante. Like, okay, you thought you gave you this before. Well, we're at 100% now. Like, okay.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think I watched the first 1 or 2 episodes of it, and this looks cute and like kind of funny, but not. I don't know. It didn't like hook me. Like I wasn't like invested in any of the characters. Like it's silly enough, but I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to it though. If you're saying it gets kind of like wild in terms of emotions.
Yes.
I
And
think
then
the animation was hard for me.
Oh, you didn't like it?
Like I started it and I was like, it feels like a Flash game.
I can see that.
You know what I mean? But I might give it a shot. Just story.
And then I watched. I just watched Hot Fuzz again.
Hey.
I absolutely. I love that movie. It is one of my best movies.
Edgar Wright is a fantastic director. I think he's one of my favorite in general.
Yeah.
Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are a fantastic comedy duo.
Yep.
Right? Like, have you ever taken a shortcut before? And just, I just love that. It just has a wonderful place in my heart, and the memes, the like, shame, like, yes, but yeah, that's it for me.
All right, so that's gonna do it for what we've been playing this week. Do we have a Blues News recap for Super Smash Sunday?
Of course. No, I'm not going to say of course. We missed it the last couple of weeks because we had a whole bunch of stuff. But this week we definitely have it. It's just a time. Blues news. Last week, Super Smash Sunday. Emissary. So before I get into everybody individually, there was a lot of times where people weren't holding a streak. Like the crown was getting passed a lot last week. And the first person to really hold it down for a little bit was Emissary with his Ices, right? But in a surprise upset, I'm so proud of my boy Kev with the Bowser win. Yeah, he actually stopped that.
True.
So that was super dope.
Quality Bowser play from Kev.
Yeah. Very inspiring. It's that new controller. He said he hooked up his Xbox controller to his Switch. He has an adapter, and that was the key. And I was like, okay, I might have to look.
Yeah, I might want to do that too, to be honest.
You know what I mean? So after that, our Terrence came through with Rob. He was running the table for a bit. Paradigm stopped him with his main Piranha Plant, and then Art went to his main, which is Sonic, and closed it out. Yeah, and that's really what happened last week. There's some really good plays as usual, but you're gonna have to sit in and watch and be a part of the action.
Right, yeah, we started doing some of the Twitch clips to show like a couple of highlights here and there. Mm-hmm. But you really got to watch Super Smash Sunday as it happens. You can watch the whole thing, as the re-record on the YouTube channel. But it's a really fun time live. Like we're chatting with the whole audience the whole time. Like just come through. Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah, gotta check
it out. And that's the Blues News recap of the week.
All right, so we're going to move on to our quick updates. A couple of things that we just want to inform you guys on that we've talked about probably in the past or just maybe aren't big enough for a full-fledged topic. Jeff, what do you have for us?
So, report AT&T no longer looking to sell Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. I'm going to say this is pretty much due to the amount of buzz they got back from that DC
right after DC Fandom, right?
They're like,
all of a sudden, they're like, you know money. What? Maybe this is kind of valuable. All these studios that we have here, like it's funny how quickly they somehow forgot that because everybody else was jumping up like, oh, I'm interested. I'll buy that. I'll pick that up.
Let me get.
They had zero faith.
Like, let's just.
They had.
Yeah, I mean, because DC
zero
Fandom
faith.
Was big. The video games and stuff that they announced were.
You mean Batman fandom?
Batman fandom.
It was there. Even the game everybody was sleeping on, which was the Suicide Squad game. I was sleeping on that. I mean,
yeah, it had a good showing.
Not even showing any gameplay, but what they did show kind of pulled me in. Like, I want to see more. Like, I'm interested now. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh yeah.
So they definitely changed their minds right now for that one. Then we have DC Comics hires Activision, former Blizzard CMO as general manager. With DC and the parent company, Warner Media, dealing with fallout of major layoffs, a new piece of the corporate puzzle has emerged. DC has now hired former Blizzard Chief Marketing Officer Daniel Cherry to fill the position of Senior Vice President and General Manager.
So, do you know what that means in terms of like his role? Like he's controlling. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So his responsibility would include overseeing business affairs, editorial, talent services, marketing, sales, brand, and direct to consumer for DC.
That's a lot.
So that's for the IP encompassing everything, right? Is that all? Like he's in control of like movies, video games, comics, TV shows.
That's a lot.
So the only person he would directly report to Warner Media's president of global brands and experience, Pamela Lifford, and would work closely with senior VP business strategy and finance and administration and DPIs. So they're pretty much calling him in for damage control to kind of redirect course from some of the losses they suffered in the last couple years.
But I mean, I got to be honest, I don't really know Daniel Cherry. Like that name is the first time I'm hearing it, but he was like a high-ranking Activision executive. And honestly, Activision, like they've made a ton of money, but off of milking the exact same franchises year after year in kind of unoriginal ways.
Bad rep, yeah.
So
I would have been more impressed with the Blizzard part of it as opposed to the Activision part. Like, let's just leave the Activision out of that story. Yeah, I work there, but I don't put that on my resume.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. He may very well be part of Blizzard's team, but I don't know, because I felt like when that partnership first happened, it was more like Blizzard was kind of bought by Activision, and Activision let Blizzard do what it was doing, but Activision was still kind of on top. So if this guy was a CMO for Activision Blizzard, I feel like he was within Activision proper's executive branch of people, not necessarily like Blizzard's. But I don't know, I could be wrong.
Maybe he came from Blizzard and got graded.
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, this is my first time really hearing that name in terms of like game stuff. So I really don't know what his impact is going to be here. Hopefully it's something positive.
Yeah, hopefully it's none of those bad habits that that Activision is right now
notorious for. Yeah.
What else?
Then we have the Batman's Robert Pattinson tests positive for COVID-19.
Son,
wow.
Right.
I told my friend. Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
No, you're good. I said productions have been halted since the test, and according to people close to the story, filming has been paused, and right now it's just at a standstill. So even with the trailer from the last DC fandom, I'm predicting the movie's probably going to get pushed back as well.
It would probably have to, I would think, yeah.
I was talking to my friend. He's a huge Batman fan, and I said, look, man, for me, it feels like it's easy to not catch COVID. Wear a mask, wash your hands, don't go out when you're not supposed to, blah, blah, blah. It's got to be something completely different for these cats. Completely different, because it feels like it's so simple to not catch it. It feels like it is.
I mean, but here's part of the problem. They're trying to shoot a movie.
I
know. Unless you give them a full mask, just the nose, the face.
Like just change it to a Batman Beyond movie, and that solve the problem.
It's crazy because and I'm not gonna go too far into it, but right now, I'm a film student and I'm still trying to work through these social distancing sets, and it's not impossible, right, from the smaller sets that I'm on, but it's definitely difficult. So I can see them having complication on bigger sets, but at the same time, they got the money, they got the resources, they got the space. I feel like health should be paramount. Yeah,
clearly someone in that production isn't taking it seriously. It could be Robert Pattinson himself, because how does the star, the headliner for the freaking production, get this?
Well, let's
and it could have been in his private life
as well.
That's true. That's also true.
Let's say somebody prepared his food and they weren't careful, and he got somebody.
Well, that's part of the precautions.
That food, yeah. I mean, but you would think the person you see them with gloves and stuff on and a mask. Well, let's say they took it down to cough or something. Let's say they didn't really care for you too much, and they're like, I don't think
they gave it to him on purpose.
That's attempted murder.
Right? Yeah, that's a felony.
That is attempted murder. Right there.
you never know, so.
But it just kind of makes the case where people are trying to get back to normal. They're like, oh, well, let's work through it. We're taking on, like, clearly that's not the case. Like, nothing's going to go back to normal unless really we probably get a vaccine or people
take it seriously.
Yeah, the people just stay in the house for the most part. Like, I don't know how you shoot a movie if everyone's on webcams, but maybe that's how you got to try for the next couple of years. But that sucks.
Precautions, testing everybody's temperature. Oh, I'm sure they're doing all that stuff. But I mean, something can always make it through the cracks. So. Right.
And that's and it's those people that don't take it seriously that's holding.
Yep. Absolutely, baby Jesus.
What's the last one, Jack?
The Black Panther comics are now free on Comixology.
Yes.
200 digital issues of the Black Panther were recently made available for free online. That includes every issue of the comics with notable exclusions. So, you can't purchase the entire series. You have to buy it. You have to download it or get it issue by issue. But there are certain instances that aren't included where the Black Panther run by Don McGregor and Billy Graham, published between 1973 and 76, aren't included, and some other ones as well. So every issue, but not every issue. And also, like I said, you can't go to a story arc and buy the entire arc. You have to find each single comic and download it comic by comic.
Okay, but that's a pretty nice gesture, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, most definitely.
But I guess that does it for our quick updates.
That does.
Yeah.
We're going to move into our topics proper. First up, Warner Media responds to complaints from the Cyborg actor Ray Fisher. I think we talked a little bit about Ray Fisher kind of having beef with Joss Whedon specifically, who was the one who came in to kind of finish up the Justice League for Zack Snyder. Mm-hmm. And apparently there were some legal situations, or basically he was asking for some sort of investigation to be done about what occurred on the set. Because Ray Fisher's complaints were that Joss Whedon was basically making it a very hostile environment. Like, it wasn't a good energy. Like, he basically felt attacked or under scrutiny and stuff like that. So he really didn't have a good time while shooting this movie.
Yeah. Now, Warner Brothers did make a statement. The head for them, Mr. Hamada, he was also Fisher also stated that he was no help, and when they complained to him that he was basically reprimanded for complaining to Mr. Hamada, Mr. Hamada, they said he, made no such actions to reprimand Mr. Fisher. Mm-hmm. They also said that they did, at the request of Ray Fisher, start an independent investigation, but they say Mr. Fisher refused to speak with the investigator on multiple occasions.
Yeah, they're trying to keep their case together.
Said he doesn't believe the investigation is independent. So they have somebody doing the investigation. He doesn't believe it is independent, so he's not answering any questions. Which
it's kind of a stalemate at this point. In one sense, because it seems like Ray Fisher isn't getting what he's asking for. Like, he's making a big stink because he feels wronged in some way, and he's saying, you guys need to make this right.
Right.
And then Warner is kind of, I don't know. I honestly get the feeling that they're kind of being half-hearted about it. Like they're claiming oh, no one else is mad about the situation. The thing that he's saying didn't happen. We did the thing he said he wanted to do, but he's not cooperating with us. So it's all on him. He's making this a really difficult situation. And I somehow just don't agree with that. I mean, I can't prove it, but it sounds fishy.
It doesn't sit well with
For me, it's hard to decide because I would think somebody else on that set would speak up. Nowadays, when we've had one stone fall, multiple stones start falling. So it's, one person speaks out, then it starts to roll downhill.
Me too.
We haven't heard anything. Not to say it's not true. I mean, because they might not have been affected by it. Yeah, or it might not have been affected by it. They might not have been affected in the same way he was. So it's hard to say. But we've only heard from him. And then I do understand his point of view. How do you ever know that an investigation is truly independent?
When the
that's scary.
Who you're complaining about are the ones who hired him.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's
sketch, man.
Yeah, it's very sketchy. I don't know how this is going to shake out. Because going forward, is Ray Fisher even still going to be Cyborg? Like, apparently they wanted his character back in whatever this Flash movie was going to be, but they don't seem to be.
They said he wouldn't talk about that either.
Right. Okay.
So they brought back. They wanted to get the entire Justice League in some form of capacity involved in the movie, and that they said he wouldn't. He hasn't responded, nor his agent, to any inquiries about coming back to do it.
Man, they about to pull a war machine on it.
They just might, but again, like he's probably gonna have grounds to be upset because I don't feel like he's mad at the role. Like I'm sure he jumped at the chance to be Cyborg, right? But apparently something about that shoot rubbed him in such a bad way that he's apprehensive about continuing unless something's done about it. And like
it could be because if you watch the Snyder cut, a lot of his stuff was cut. But that's not wasn't just him either though. The Flash, he had a scene with Iris. That got cut. It was a lot of stuff from those characters who were kind of new to the situation that got cut in the final product.
Yeah, in Joss Whedon's version of it, right?
But in Zack Snyder's cut, they kind of got a little more fleshed out. Yeah.
Well, it's also like what, twice the length?
Yeah, it's like 4 hours. This cut is supposed to be.
But it would cut from you figured it would cut from the people who were already established as opposed to the people who you were trying to involve into this, and this was your introduction to the overall universe, was this collective movie, so they needed a little bit more shine to kind of get put out there as opposed to, like I said, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, who's already been around. So, they've already had a movie, or at least a movie, to kind of put themselves out there. So
it's really sad because I forgot that Cyborg.
Right.
Legit.
Yeah, they did him dirty. They did his character dirty, but they always do Cyborg dirty, and also Cyborg is a bad character. So
they always do black sidekicks dirty. Look at Finn.
True. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. John Boyega complained about how Star Wars used him. So like Ray Fisher's not really alone out there, but the thing is his complaint seems to be more isolated, more directed. Like he has a problem with stuff that Josh Whedon was doing on set.
Yeah.
And apparently nothing about it has really been addressed. And to be fair, Josh Whedon probably holds a lot of weight in the industry. Like, who's really going to be telling Josh Whedon, you can't do this, you can't do that? Like, that man makes careers right now.
Yeah.
So that could be part of the reason why, he's not getting any support.
That could have been his mentality as well. Like, I can make or break your career. So
exactly.
Go do what I
could have used that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's scary. It's scary, man. There's a lot of people with questionable morals in high power.
True. Yeah, and once you get power, like it can kind of just make you a dirtbag. But not to say that Josh Whedon is a dirtbag. I don't know Josh Whedon personally. Just saying in general, you don't know. We don't know whose side of the situation is really. Maybe it's just a misunderstanding. Who knows? But hopefully we'll get some kind of clarity down the road. Ray Fisher will feel vindicated in some form. And maybe he'll be able to return to the Justice League, and that those movies will eventually be good. But that's that's a fairy tale ending for a situation like this.
Without
I guess
4 hours.
But we'll move on to our. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You had one more thought?
Very good. Just a small thing. I would have rather. No offense to him, but I would have rather them had did a kind of like they did with the Justice League Unlimited, where they had a black Martian Manhunter.
Mm-hmm.
That still feels like a cop-out because he's not a black dude. He's a Martian, and he just transforms into a black dude.
But he dealt with racism and stuff on his planet as well. It was kind of... I just felt like Cyborg, it was the worst. I don't think he translates well to nowadays. I think he just doesn't work. His story is just so...
It's basic. Bland, yeah.
It is, very basic. And that's because of the way he was created. But... he just doesn't fit, and either they need to rework his backstory when he was being introduced, because it was same stuff. He was in an accident. His dad was part of Star Labs. He used the technology that was available, which was the mother box or whatever it was. It's changed a little bit. Because in Young Justice was the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's part of them trying to tweak his story to make him kind of a bigger deal. Yeah, but it's like. I don't care. Like, what is so great about these mother boxes? Like, I'm a casual DC fan. Like, that's not selling me on his.
Usually mother boxes, and this is.
Well, I mean, I don't want to learn about it today. I'm just saying.
You'll learn about it tomorrow.
There you go. There you go.
I was just saying, like, just on the at face value, like, that's not enough of a change to really make him that much more interesting, you know. But we'll move on from that and go into our next topic. Blue, what do you got?
Blue, what do you got?
Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, Crunchyroll, they all get some weird shows, bro. Get some weird stuff.
Do explain.
Shenmue. Yeah, the latest
Shenmue
video game.
Yeah, why do you say Shenmue?
How's it pronounced?
Shenmue.
Shenmue? Nah, son. Shenmue.
Shenmue.
Shenmue. It's your cat.
It's Shenmue.
Yo, I was watching a whole bunch of people play this game because I've seen it around, but I've never had an interest in playing it.
Yeah, has anyone played Shenmue here?
I used to watch a buddy of mine play a lot of it on Dreamcast.
Bro, I was watching a review and I almost fell asleep. That game does not look fun. Like, and I'm just, like, the latest. First of all,
it's for
there's a
people
lot
who
of
don't like action. It's for people who don't like action. They just want kind of a
like. Why do you want a fighting game that
Ask Mr. Gamer
doesn't have action?
Yeah,
Gamer, what are your thoughts on Shenmue?
Did you like it?
Are you a fan?
In the days of the Dreamcast, it seemed as if it was the most realistic experience of somebody who was told, hey, go help out your grandpa, but you don't have any extra innate abilities. You are
a dude,
a person. Like, you're a person and you don't know anything, so you gotta ask people and get a very stupid job moving boxes with a forklift. Like,
it was like Grand Theft Auto levels of like detail put into it at the time. I think that was the thing that really shocked people, because like it was probably like one of the most.
You could do so much.
Yeah, you could do all. You could play video games within the video game. I know that was a big thing.
Yeah. It was talking about turtle racing.
Well, yes.
That was huge in this game.
It was.
So yeah, it was a terrible game then, and I guess they're gonna find more ways to get money out of beating this dead horse.
It has a big cult following. So
I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
I was just about to say that. So
cult following, huge.
The crazy thing about this game, right, is that I think it was back in 2019, they had raised I think it was in one day, they had raised like $6 million on a Kickstarter to make the third one. Like, there's a lot of people who love this stuff.
But hold on. The other funny thing about that was they announced that the game was coming out on an E3 stage, on Sony's E3 stage. They, on Sony's E3 stage, said, go to Kickstarter and give us money to make this game.
And they did it. And people did it.
Oh, my God.
And they made the game. And it was terrible.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was a sequel.
Money-wise?
Is that the consensus, or is that your personal view?
Obviously, there's people who love the game, right? There's gonna be people like some DC fans who just love anything that DC puts out, right?
Yeah.
There's some people, not you,
or people who just play Overwatch till the disc doesn't work anymore. I mean, like, you need to add something new. I need some.
Oh, you use discs?
I need something.
You use discs?
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of escorting the same payload. I'm tired of taking the same.
Come over here.
Change it up, please.
Come over here to 2020.
Yeah.
You ain't taking the point. You ain't that good.
Give me something else. Give me something else to do, fam.
Come to 2020 and get a digital download.
Nah,
get off them discs, boy.
I like this. You know?
Say you wore the MP3 down?
Yeah.
Anyway, Adult Swim said, let's make an anime. And Crunchyroll is gonna have it as well.
Yeah, they're both partnered in this, right? Is the story in Shenmue good? Like, Gamer, did you care about like what was happening?
Didn't understand what was happening when I was a kid. As an adult, I realized that it was not actually important. This is this it was like Seinfeld. It was about nothing. It was about nothing.
I mean,
I was watching a stream this morning.
Nothing makes sense. It all just happens, and you're just dropped in. You're a dropped-in nobody. Go figure things out. Like,
get her done.
Not just that. It takes place in the 80s, which is like, oh, when I hear the 80s, I'm like, American 80s. Yeah, that's a cool era. This is in China in the 80s, son. Like, and it's a remote village.
Yeah, they're like
so
in
it's
the
not
boondocks.
even like. So it don't even matter that they're in the 80s because they're on farmland anyway. It's just that the young guys are wearing leather jackets.
Well, I will say.
So they're making an anime out of that.
Yeah, I do want to say, in terms of the story in the game, for the people who do care about it, the games were never like finished in terms of story, right? Like it was there was Shenmue 1 and 2. 3 is the one that just got released, and it was supposed to be like a 6 or 9 part series. The creator said. So at the very least, if this anime gets off the ground, they'll be able to tell you the whole story way before, I guess, the 9th game ever comes out. So it may be the better route for this franchise, honestly.
Yeah, if you want to get the story out, this is probably going to be the best way because the video games ain't working. On top of that, another show. Now, I'm not a wrestling fan by any means. But WWE's Rey Mysterio is getting an animated Lucha Libre series.
It's for like the Latin version, I think, of Cartoon Network. It said, right?
Cartoon Network Latin America.
Yeah.
I feel some kind of way about that.
I was looking at the screenshot because that looks dope.
Yeah, I like the art style for this.
The art style looks amazing. I will say, I don't know. Have you guys seen Say Smile on Netflix?
Oh, I haven't watched it, but I know what you're talking about.
I finished that.
That show's raw.
Yeah.
That show's raw. You don't see a lot of Hispanic fighting shows in general.
Right.
I mean, the last one I could, especially animated, the last one I can think of was Mucha Lucha.
Mucha Lucha, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
With the tick in them.
With the tick, what's that
the
girl's
flea.
name?
Yeah,
the flea.
The flea. I'm like the tick. Okay,
Oh no,
you're right.
what's that? Rose?
It was the flea.
Are you guys talking about the cartoon?
The tick
Yes.
was the blue
Yeah.
dude. The tick was the
The
blue
tick was
dude.
Yeah, the
Blue
tick
dude, yeah,
was
he's talking
another
about-
thing. That guy, I believe, is who the same guy who made the Venture Bros.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we won't have to talk about that another time because we're gonna go super off topic, but I want to hear about that.
Like I'm pretty sure that's the same creator, the Tick and the Venture
Yeah.
Bros.
But Rey Mysterio is getting his own series. He's actually super excited about it, as he should be. It looks cool from just the screenshot that they put in the CBR article. And one thing that when I was looking at this and I was trying to learn about it, I was like, who is Rey Mysterio? What's his signature move? And he does this move where
the 369 or something like that. Is it called?
Where he jumps on the ropes and swings around horizontally and smacks it.
Oh, you didn't watch wrestling at all as a kid, did you?
Yeah,
That's what I
because
said.
honestly,
No.
because Rey Mysterio is probably one of the biggest names.
He started in WCW.
Right. And he was a big deal there, even when WWF was like, the front runner. When they merged, it was cool that Rey Mysterio was now on the big time or whatever. But I think there are like a couple other like lucha style wrestlers in the WWE, but he was for sure like the main one who kind of started.
Yeah.
No.
I remember it was him and Ultimo Dragon.
Yes.
Billy Kidman, all those guys. Yeah.
I never watched wrestling, like I said, but I've heard the name Rey Mysterio, so that's how I know how big he was. So when this article came across my desk, I was like, "Oh, I've heard that name before." Looked him up. This dude is mad famous, and he's a trailblazer. So
yeah,
I'm happy that he's getting the show. It looks like at least the screenshot looks dope. Hopefully we can get to watch it.
Yeah, hopefully it'll show up
Nowadays,
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays you can find it on something.
Oh yeah.
But I do think it kind of sucks that for some reason somebody's like, oh, this will only appeal to the Latin version of our fan base. Like, put this on Cartoon Network proper. Like, I don't get the hesitation, honestly.
There's no.
Put it on Cartoon Network proper. That's gonna be a channel. That's gonna be a channel.
Cartoon Network proper. Yeah, to just get rid of all the other sub ones and just works for me.
The other ones weren't done officially proper, but this one, Cartoon Network proper.
All right, so I guess that wraps that story up. We're gonna move on to our last topic. Gamer, what do you got?
Mike Coates.
So, hopefully everybody has already listened to my not exact fanboy rant over this, but we have had a wonderful Nintendo Direct, and with that, they announced some beautiful things for the 35th anniversary of Mr. Video Game himself. One of the things that they introduced was Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, which first glance looked like so much fun, and then I remembered what I thought about with Nintendo Labo and was like, okay, maybe not in my house, but somebody else's place. Yeah, where they have a big, huge area to try to make a interesting little track that just isn't an oval over and over again.
Yeah, can you describe to anyone who maybe hasn't seen this, like what Mario Kart Live is?
So, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit is first of all, it's a video game and augmented reality race car game where you have checkpoints that you will use to create a track. And using a particular set of cars, which, by the way, of course, are sold separately, you will be able to... Yeah, you will be able to, using your screen on your Nintendo Switch, drive the track that you've created. And, for example, if you have a mushroom, then everyone else will be able to see your car get faster. If someone hits a shell with your car, you'll see your car get slower. In the game, your character will, like, spin out or whatever. But as far as everybody else is concerned, it just went a little slower or something like that. With the idea that you have the ability to create what kind of track, it's interesting how they said, oh, the possibilities of tracks are endless. It's like, not really. You'll be making the same types of tracks over and over again.
Because the tracks have to take up physical space somewhere, right? Like they're like AR markers that like you have to place on the ground that builds the track. So you would just need enough floor space to actually make one.
and it's not as if it's going to get as specific as Mario Kart 8, where you can have something that will be going up and down, and there will be no reversing gravity. Like, you would have to have some designated space to make a track that will have any sort of elevation. Most of the time, you're just going to be on one flat plane, honestly.
I got a question, because maybe I read this. So the physical cart, is that what you're actually like playing with, or is that just recording the track? Because I thought it was just
you are first using the cart. You're using the car in addition to the markers to make the track first. Right. Then after that, essentially, you will be looking at your Nintendo Switch, but your car will actually be driving the track you just created.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's a physical car, but it's a virtual track.
Yes.
I thought it was just recording it, and then you upload it, and you're like, okay, now me and my friends are playing.
No.
No.
Dang.
I mean, you and your friends can play in your house. Literally, they would have to be in your house. They have to have their own switches.
Not with COVID. I ain't got that much floor space.
No social distancing. You're too close. I'm not
All right.
space. Back up.
So the next thing that they announced was something, again, as I said on my podcast, I never thought I would ever say these words. Super Mario Bros. Battle Royale. Which is Super Mario Bros. 35, where you and 34 other players will compete to essentially beat the game. You are going through the typical Super Mario Bros. Stage, starting from World 1-1. The power-ups you get not only help you, but just like Tetris 99, you can point to a specific person and say, hey, this power-up is going to knock that person out because I see that they're struggling. And just like every Battle Royale game, you fight to be the last one.
I'm sorry. I think this is brilliant.
It is. I just never thought that like
It was going to
Battle
happen.
Royale and a platform game. Like when I saw this, one of the things that I thought of was because I don't know if any of you guys have played Splatoon.
Have not, no.
So in Splatoon, they had their first DLC, which was the Octopath expansion, Octoling expansion. It was one of the best platforming experiences I've ever had. If I had something like that, but Battle Royale, like, think about, like, when I looked at this, I'm like, okay, Super Mario Galaxy Battle Royale, like, just to have a platformer in a Battle Royale sense is a nice breath of fresh air because it's not pew pew pews.
Right.
It's like, it's something completely different. It's like a certain level of strategy almost to it. I'm sorry, go ahead, Blue.
It makes everything better. I'm just saying sometimes. Well, in most instances.
Absolutely.
It's a wave right now, and it's a wave right now.
For honor, and I'd be all about that.
How would that? Okay, that might get a little sloppy.
Okay, but I was gonna say this is why Nintendo wasn't, in my opinion, wasn't really part of the console wars. It was always, Sony versus Microsoft, because Nintendo always does things their own way. No one else, I don't think, can release a platforming battle royale like Nintendo can. No one can even do that AR track.
Wouldn't you call Fall Guys
are you talking about Fall Guys?
A platforming battle royale?
You talking about Fall Guys, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I hear what you're saying. Now, they're not going to do it the way Nintendo does it, especially because Nintendo has the nostalgia in place, right? We're playing through familiar levels. Your kids and you can play at the same level for the most part because of
the way. True. Yeah, it's a twist on something.
These levels are perfect.
It's a twist on two things that are familiar and like a mashup. Because like, you know what a battle royale is, you know what Mario is, and then like it's a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
And the controls are relatively simple too.
And one thing because Blue had just mentioned this, is just the fact that there is that nostalgia behind it and the accessibility for everyone, because there is nothing complicated about Mario. It's it's left, right, run, and jump. It's so simple. And going off what Blue said, they have never been concerned about what's going on in this console war. As far as they're concerned, they're just collecting their money. That's all that they're doing, because they do things like this, and I'm looking at this like, what? I didn't even imagine. Like, that's really cool. Now, I must say something. This is not all like, oh yeah, thanks Uncle Nintendo, because this game unfortunately will no longer be available after March 31st, 2021. It is a limited release, and I am concerned about that.
Yeah, I wanna talk about that in depth in a little bit. But I just want to get the final game that we have on this list out first, because it's a similar situation with that as well.
Okay, so you also have Super Mario. You have Super Mario 3D All Stars. It is essentially that beautiful All Stars game that was on the SNES.
Yep.
Yes, thank you. On the SNES, now you will be able to play all of those games on your Nintendo Switch. But again, this special anniversary edition or whatever, you will not be able to get it physically or digitally after March 31st, 2021.
Which is strange, but I just want to clarify, it's Super Mario 3D All-Stars, not the All-Stars that was on SNES.
Sorry.
So yeah, it is. Sorry. It is just some of the 3D Mario games, which is Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, which is the first time that's ever been re-released by Nintendo, and Mario Galaxy 1. Just one. There's a Mario Galaxy 2, but they don't include it in this for some reason.
Because it's still probably still selling copies of it.
What? It's a Wii game. How? Like, how would they possibly still be selling that?
They're like, we give them one, it's gonna make them go buy two. It's just
On what? Who still has their Wii? Go ahead, Blue.
Ooh. Oh no, you good.
Oh no, I'm sorry. So yeah, so go ahead, gamer.
So they have this one other thing that wasn't in this that I did want to mention that they released was a special Game and Watch handheld that will play the original Super Mario Bros. This, again, similar to their NES and SNES Classic, is a limited release sort of thing, and it does not seem as if Nintendo has learned the lesson that scalpers are just looking at this like, all right, this is my time, let's go. Because let's face it, that is exactly what's going to happen with this. There's going to be a huge rush where all the physical copies are just going to be snatched up just like that, and then sold again on eBay 2.5 times the price. And Nintendo, you keep giving me amazing things, but can you work on that, please? There is no reason.
Can you do it right?
There is no reason to have this be something you can only get for a limited time. You're not Disney. You don't give me something and then put it back in the Disney vault. Like, no.
But I mean, they want to be Disney. Like, that's pretty apparent. Like, they're building Nintendo Land as we speak.
I know, and it's just...
That's true.
Why? Because because here's the first thing. Why specifically March 31st, 2021? Because I need to know what's going to happen in April now. April 1st, April Fools, what have you. I mentioned on my podcast, give me my year of Bowser already. I want my year of Bowser. They mentioned in that direct Bowser's Fury, Super Mario 3D Land plus Bowser's Fury? Oh, boy. You give me, please.
So I mean,
I'm sorry.
Does that gives you what you wanted?
No.
Well, we don't know what it is.
We don't know. I don't know what it is because I know what I want. But Nintendo has been very adamant about not giving you what you want. They'll give you what they'll give you, and unfortunately, you'll just deal with it.
About to be like
I'm sorry. Say again.
Say about what?
Bowser's Fury is going to be something weird like a horde mode or something like that, where Bowser's just constantly throwing
Kung Fu Bowser game.
Monsters at you.
It'll be a hack and slash.
Now,
that would be dope.
Now, I will say, I am gonna have to really ding Nintendo on this whole limited release with the games. Maybe with your little stupid handheld consoles. Whatever. People are going to buy it, keep it in a box, and have it be a nice conversation piece. But for a video game, especially a video game that not only has a physical and a digital release, you're telling me that this video game is only going to be available between this time? Why? Why are you giving me
yes?
And I hate that.
Yeah,
like,
it's something that you specifically have mentioned a bunch of times, gamer, is that artificial scarcity.
Yes.
Like, they want to recreate something that really doesn't exist anymore. Like, physical scarcity is not a thing that we need to deal with because of the digital age. But Nintendo, I guess, still sees the value in it.
Found a way.
Yeah, and so this is a way to try and recreate that. And it's going to work because, like, I definitely... And honestly, like you're saying, it doesn't really make that much sense because people are going to buy this with the fear that they won't be able to get it later. But Nintendo, if they would have just left it out, everyone who was going to buy it was going to buy it because it's never going to go down in price because Nintendo never puts anything on sale. So like, I need this for my son because I know he specifically asked me for some of the games that are in this collection. So I would love to put them on his Switch for him.
But now you got a timer on it.
Right. So
that's extra stress for like no reason.
Right. Like, why can't I save up for this over time?
Watch. March 10th. Go. March 10th, there's going to be some kind of announcement that's going to affect this March 31st. Watch it. It's going to happen.
You think?
I'm saying it right now.
So you're thinking they're going to extend it or they're going to shrink it, maybe?
I don't know. I don't think they're going to shrink it, but there's going to be something there's going to be something about that deadline that's either going to change, or there's going to be something that comes out before that, so you don't have to miss that. Something is going to happen on March 10th. Before the 31st. That's going to change.
Why the 10th?
I mean, that's Mario Day.
The 10th?
That's Mario Day. That's Mario Day.
MAR
Well,
10.
Okay.
They've been pushing that.
They've been going hard every March 10th. Yeah.
They've been having Mario Day sales, Mario Day drop. Like they did their mobile game, the Mario Go, I think it was. I think they dropped it on Mario Day. That game I still have it on my phone. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, so Mario Run, you mean?
The Mario Run, that's what it was. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, one thing I want to. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, but that's my prediction right now. March 10th is going to be something that's going to change our mind. This because you're going to see the clock counting down, and you have 2-3 weeks left to pick this up. It's actually legit 3 weeks before. Before the 31st.
So here's one question that I had. So specifically with the All-Stars and its limited window, for something, from my understanding, that's going to be available both physically and digitally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And a time where people can't really go out, so I can't imagine that there's going to be a lot of people lining up outside to try to get a physical copy of something. You're still going to try to put out in the air this artificial scarcity when there's a lot of people that really could just digitally download it. So why just not have it just digitally downloaded? Because from my understanding, you're not getting any. I didn't immediately see any like collector's edition for a physical version of this. So if it's just the game, why even have it physical at all? Why not just go digital? I mean, that's what happened with most of Animal Crossing New Horizons sales. Most of them were digital.
But I have to say, I think the counterpoint to that is Nintendo can be very traditional. And a lot of people like physical copies. You build that library. Jeff just earlier was saying that he likes the disc. You know what I mean? There is a market for the physical copy. I don't think, obviously, the digital is going to outweigh the digital sales is going to outweigh the physical sales, but there's a market for that.
It's true. Yeah, a lot of younger kids probably.
There's traditionalists.
Parents don't buy like a super big SD card and then digital copy all the games for the kid. They just buy the box and then give the kid cards to switch out. So it might just be easier for the majority of the market. So it's good to have, but I would probably get it digitally myself. But I get it.
All right, now I'm done crapping on Nintendo. I'm just going to simply say Super Mario Sunshine on the Nintendo Switch. I am here for it. Can we just fast forward to 2 weeks, please? Super Mario 64, amazing game. Super Mario Galaxy, beautiful music. But
yeah, beautiful music,
sorry,
because I did not actually like that game.
but hold on. Sunshine is a combination of a wonderful game and beautiful music.
That's true. You know what? Do you guys remember? Like, a lot of people used to like kind of diss Mario Sunshine. Like, people think of it as like the worst of the 3D Marios.
It was difficult.
It was different. It was different at the time because Mario's powers weren't his own. It was that flood. Mm-hmm. Like, that was what it was. Yeah. And so I think that it was just different at the time. And even when they first had talked about it, when Super Mario Sunshine was first being talked about and on Game Informers, they originally were supposed to have it where the sun was actually supposed to hurt Mario, and you would have to use the water to keep yourself hydrated, or else.
I remember reading about that. Yeah,
like, that was how Super Mario Sunshine was supposed to be. So even at the time, it was just something that was so different. But now. It's amazing. Like, the speedrunner community for Super Mario Sunshine is still going strong. It is bananas, the things that these people are still coming up with. And now you know that there is going to be a brand new category on the Nintendo Switch.
Right, for the Switch version.
And also the soundtracks are going to be available for you in this game as well.
Oh,
just
nice.
to be able to listen. Yes, the soundtracks are going to be available. So Grandmaster Galaxy, Gusty Gardens Galaxy, Delfino Plaza, your Bowser's Castles. You'll be able to listen to all that too. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Nintendo. Now, if you can give me my Year of Bowser, give me a Bowser origin story, something with Bowser and Bowser Jr. together.
That Bowser hack and slash that y'all was talking about sounds. I'm not gonna lie.
It's coming.
I mean, they did Mario. If they did Mario and Rabbids, they can give me a Bowser Horde mode. Like, they can do that.
I did want to point out that for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, they chose the Super Mario Sunshine version with the Flood Pack for the most part.
I don't know, because that Mario has short sleeves. Like, he has the Flood, but I don't know if it's that particular Mario.
He didn't always have Flood.
That's true. Like, right? he had it, I want to say, was it Brawl?
Was it?
They first put that on him?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was Brawl.
Yes, Brawl. Yes, it was Brawl because
Melee definitely didn't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure Melee didn't have it, no.
Yeah. And I guess my point is it was so significant to them to have it as a constant feature.
I don't know about that. Like that's just Sakurai specifically. He went, this is a good move for Mario. Like he just looked at Mario's history and was like, oh, I can make use of this. Like, I don't know if that was like Nintendo saying like, hey, anything. make sure this next Mario has Flood on him or you're fired.
It's like,
has Link changed his moveset?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
They keep shifting his moves off to the other Links, and then they keep reinventing the adult Link over and over again. Like, this one is the first time there's been a Breath of the Wild Link, remember? Like, he's almost completely different in Ultimate.
But he's generally just throwing bombs. He's got this up B, right? None of them don't throw bombs or shoot arrows or...
No, because, I mean,
do the spin.
Because that's what Link does.
Yeah, I'm just saying, in general, his moveset has stayed the same, right? Obviously, they activate differently and stuff like that, but Mario has actually changed. That's what I'm saying. Think about it significant.
Well, think about it like this, because I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But prior to, because the first Smash Bros was on N64, so Sunshine didn't exist.
Exactly.
And then Sunshine was on.
I understand that.
Yeah, the GameCube. So that was Mario, the most recent Mario you knew when Brawl came out was the Mario from Sunshine. So Sakurai adding Flood was very much a thing that made sense, and it was a move that made sense for his character in the grand scheme of Smash. So like, it wouldn't make sense for them to take it away after that if it was a good move. You know what I mean? It's part of his history still.
I guess. Well, we could go more into it another time, but yeah, I feel like it was significant to keep it in there, and I feel what you're doing as well. They're just keeping up with the times.
Yeah, because other characters have had similar change. Like Zelda's look changed. She used to be like the Twilight Princess Zelda. They made her like one of the, I think Skyward Sword Zelda.
She got
the most recent one.
She got completely reworked because she got split into two different people.
Right. Yeah. So like they're updating constantly with pretty much everyone, I think. But that's gonna wrap up the Mario stuff and our topics. We do got some time. You guys want to knock out this question from Snix360 that we kind of skipped? I want to say like 3 weeks in a row now. So, if you guys want to write questions to BBET, you can send them to BBETGaming@gmail.com. You can ask us whatever you want, stuff about games, stuff about ourselves. You can just tell us stories about stuff that happened in your life, see if we can relate. We'll answer them for the most part. Snix360, as usual, has provided us with our question. He writes, has anyone ever told you they did not like you? What was your response, and how did that situation come to a conclusion?
Oh, please.
Her name was Sarah in first grade, and she said she didn't like me, and I cried, and I told my mom, and my mom was about to do, but she's like, that's a kid. I can't hit no kid, and so I got ice cream on the way home. That's what happened.
Wow. So thanks to Sarah, you got some ice cream. Nice work.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Wow. Sarah helped you out.
Good looking out, Sarah.
Was it rum raisin?
Yes, man. You know this.
I knew it.
You know this,
my man.
Rum raisin.
I've never experienced that, so I don't really.
Ooh,
I've
is
never
that some
experienced.
bad, Jeff?
That is me. I, as a kid, wasn't somebody that somebody would say that to.
Basically, he was a bully. If
I was not a
you
bully.
didn't,
So what
if you
happened?
didn't get the
I
context.
I was well prepared with the hands. So people would not just say, "Hey, I don't like you."
Well, what about?
'Cause
Well,
they
maybe
do what
does it have to be as a kid? Like,
Now nobody would really say that.
Uh-huh.
Most adults don't
Yeah.
say it; they just act
Ghost
in a
you.
manner that would lead you to believe,
to believe
that
such a thing, right?
I don't like you. And then I usually have what's a nice one? I don't give a attitude towards that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I'm not a person who cares if somebody likes me. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, oh, they don't like me. Like I think more as a kid, most kids care that somebody might not like them. Even some adults, I would say, and you see that all over social media. But I've always been a person who has not cared. If you don't like me, that means I'm not your flavor. I'm not for you. And
Right.
most people aren't for everyone. But if you don't like me, I've never had someone say that. I guess people could give off that perception or be rude, but
They never blatantly said it to your face
yeah,
because
nobody's
there's no point.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody doesn't like, we just didn't vibe, which means I didn't like them anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's hard to answer.
Feel like I really do feel like the odd one out because I have had people tell me that. I've had people tell me that because I'm a furry. I've had people tell me that because they thought that a pun wasn't necessarily funny. I've had that told to me a variety of times.
Like in a fully serious manner.
Yes, like I've had I've had conversations with people
Over a
and
pun?
they have. Yes. Yes.
I'm listening.
So
I'm listening. I want to hear what the pun was.
well, it was just a joke that the person just didn't seem like it was funny, and that person wanted to tell me, "Hey, I didn't think that was funny. I don't think you're funny." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then the person said, "Well, like you going to apologize to them?" No. Well, why not? Because they didn't say anything to me. You did. Like, and that was unfortunately the interaction. Like, and I wasn't trying to be and I wasn't trying to be like rude or disrespectful, but it was really like
Boy.
like that was
trying to be overly aggressive. Like,
well, but here's the thing: the person wasn't like
you are better than me.
Like the person wasn't like in my face or anything like that, but they were just so like as a matter of fact with me. And I guess maybe because I was just dense at the moment, it was just bouncing off like, okay, you told me this. What else is going on? I'm confused. So I guess
he's like, my beans. Like,
well, okay, but
Like,
now, had the person like thrown a punch or anything like that, then yes. But if it's just like you telling me like, oh, I didn't like that wasn't cool. It's like going it's like going on to someone.
Like, I feel like he was like, because the part where he said you weren't funny didn't need to be said. If he didn't agree with what you said,
exactly.
that was different.
Yeah, it's very confrontational.
Like and my dude, you ain't even funny. Like I feel like he was trying to be a little bit extra, and that's when people who have like some type of, and it was on behalf of somebody else. I feel like they were trying to impress that other person, even though that person might have been okay with it.
Now I am going to have to make sure to preface this next statement very carefully that this has nothing to do with any people living or dead, but it is very similar to when someone does not like what you say on Facebook and they comment on it, with the expectation that you will then change your tone, your attitude, or your words when you will not. And it is unfortunately exactly like that. You will make a post or you will say something, and then someone will decide that is not okay to say, and that you should delete it, you should retract it, that you should edit it, and you decide to do exactly none of that.
Let me tell you something. The scenario you described, if you leave with "I don't like you" and then you should do something, I'm laughing at that point. Like,
Right. It's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Like,
Exactly.
if a friend is coming up to me, if a friend's coming up to me like, "Yo, you know what you said to XYZ, that's messed up. It really wasn't that funny. You should probably say something to them." That's different. But it's like,
Yeah.
yo,
Yeah, some
You're not
random
funny.
blah.
you're a random person, son.
Oh.
I'm surprised you didn't
man.
laugh on the spot. I would have called. Hey, your boys trying to talk to me about you. Do you want to step up?
I got loud too. I'm like, if you don't get the out my face,
Nah, I'm not trying to start nothing, but that's crazy.
Well,
because for you to come out your face to come and say something to me directly, now I feel some type of way about it. I feel disrespected, and I felt like if you didn't agree with what I said, it had nothing to do with you to begin with, and you should have minded your business. So for you to think you have some entitlement to say something to me, obviously you must have thought I was a punk because you initiated this conversation.
Right? Like you hold on, you stepped over here knowing that that I'm a loose cannon, like I can't control my emotions.
very conflict avoidant.
But no, so I have a slightly different situation with this where like the person didn't directly tell me that they did not like me, but they kind of backhandedly did. It was in a sense where it was like time had passed, like me and this person had bumped heads, you know, for a time in the past, but we were kind of forced together for various reasons. And then after a little bit of time, it was kind of this conversation that sprung up where they were telling me like, oh, you know what? I used to not really like you. Like I had a problem with you based on my perception of you, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? You're actually like pretty cool or whatnot at this point.
I love those conversations.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't take it that way, to be fair.
No.
I didn't take it that way. Because one, this particular person was always just kind of an a-hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of a mutual thing where it's like, I didn't, like when we first met, we bumped heads because apparently they had whatever perception they had about me. I don't really judge people like that, like just from a look. So all I ever got from this person was that kind of standoffish dismissal because apparently they did not like me. So me
It was too quick to judge.
Right. So me subconsciously gave them their space. Like clearly this person, like, you know, we don't really talk, we don't really vibe. Like I don't need to be involved with them. I'll be in my own space, even though, you know, we're gonna be in the same circles for a time, you know? Mm-hmm. But I guess after me interacting with other people who was also interacting with that person, they came around and thought that it would mean something to me that I finally won their approval.
Oh yeah,
that had the complete opposite effect.
I didn't like you before, but guess what? Happy birthday!
Right? Yeah, like. First of all, you always gave me like this bad vibe, so like I wasn't ever seeking your approval to begin with. So now that you're telling me you have it, it makes me now feel like, well, you were never gonna get my approval at this point. Like if there was a chance of us becoming cool, the fact that you thought that this was like some sort of the fact that you thought this was something I needed to hear proves to me that you're just an a-hole.
Yeah. Like I would have been like,
you're right.
Does your mama know you here? Because I don't care. Like,
yeah. So it was like we already weren't like close at all, but from that point forward, it's just somebody I don't F with. Period.
I don't blame you.
So
I see what you're saying. I guess I was definitely thinking of a different scenario. But you know, the fact that they were rude to you from the get-go, that's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's messed up.
Yeah, and
I've had
in an
people
instance like
who
that,
I've worked with, and they kind of,
yeah, and if someone does something like that, if you ever get that bad vibe, like I just don't. Like, I don't chase after anyone, especially people I don't know or I'm just meeting. Like Jeff was saying, like, I don't care about your perception of me. Like, I'm going to live my life. But for you, I don't know. That's just brazen to then walk up to somebody's face like, you know what? Now you're cool.
Good job, Sigma Gears. You have passed my test.
Right, yeah. Like,
welcome to the fold.
Get out of my face.
That'll do, goat. That'll do.
That'll do.
So, I mean, any other
difficult, man.
Situations that want to be brought up in vein of this question.
I have a work one.
Yeah, no, like.
Yeah, go ahead if you want to
You
share.
say you got a work one.
So we have like a another manager texted me because they had somebody that was starting at this store, and they were going to be training in their store. So now, unfortunately, if I had to make it a point to like even my boss, so I let them know like, listen, when I'm off, I'm off. Don't bother me.
Yeah, don't mess with me.
There's no text messages. There's no phone calls. I work enough, and I was driving enough to the point where, you know, when I'm not here, I'm not here. And I tell them, like, you know, because usually if I'm not here with my son, if I'm off that day or whatever it is, so you know, I'll see you when I get back type situation. So, you know, me and the person already I had to kind of set them straight. They text my phone, it was like in the morning time, with not even a question, more like the person's name and, you know, what's their employee number, question mark. That's the first thing, 8 o'clock in the morning. Maya, I'm off, first of all. Second of all,
I'm not answering.
Mother, good morning, you mean? First off, hi, good morning. Sorry to bother you. So,
you ain't getting an answer till noon
you
from
crazy.
me.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she out of pocket. I was like, I don't know who your trainer is, but you need to go back in your Pokeball. I was like, because you got the wrong person. I was like, good morning is what you mean, and I am off today. I was still professional. Contact me when I'm back in the store. Thank you, and please use the store phone. Don't call my personal phone. Don't text my personal phone.
How'd you even get this number?
Yeah, because because now you're doing too much. Because if we was face to face, you wouldn't probably like what I had to say. So let's just keep this the way it is. So that was like that was actually a more recent thing. But unfortunately, sometimes you have to be, not rude, not even, you know, disrespectful, but people will test you.
Assertive. You gotta be assertive.
Yeah.
People will test you until you set them straight, and then unfortunately, either they're like, oh damn, I won't do that again, or they're like, well, you didn't have to act like that.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're the victim, right?
Yeah, like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, I got. That's funny. Small thing. I got tangent, little thing. I got actually banned from Xbox for a day because of a similar situation.
When?
I was playing the game. This is a while ago. It's maybe like a couple months ago. Maybe like almost a year ago. But anyway, so I'm playing. I forgot what I was playing. I think I was playing Destiny, to be honest with you. And the kid,
makes sense.
Somebody messaged me that
I think I remember
match.
this.
Oh, he said I was doing something. I was just doing, you know, cheating or something. Blah blah blah. And he was saying something. I was like, oh, what did I say? I said something. So my thing is, I don't have levels. If you come at me, I'm automatically going to level 10. Like, there's no progression. If you say something to me that I don't like, it's automatically a jump to level 10. Because that's the way, you know, when we in school, whoever had the craziest joke, or, you know,
like, you had to shut down interaction by just picking the nuclear option every time.
Are you talking about grammar school or prison?
Everywhere, man. It was
What's the difference?
It was crazy in the hood. Let's just leave it like that. But like the person, I was like,
I was born there, but still,
I was like, I think I said something like, "Your mom's not here. She's in the bathroom washing my underwear," or something like that. Like that was my response to the person, and I guess they reported me. But you came over here,
right? Yeah, like you jumped in the inbox, so
you jumped in my box, and I gave you fire back out, like back up. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't welcome here to begin with. And I'm like, I got like banned for a day, and I'm like, when somebody goes looking for something and you give it to them, that's their fault. They should be held liable. I'm like, not me, because he don't know me. He don't know what I'm capable of.
You're right. Yeah.
I feel like this is like,
you know?
I feel like this is justification that we're gonna find out later that Jeff beats his employees.
All right.
You came to work today. I
actually treat people how I want to be treated if I was in their position. I've learned that is the best approach to things, and to, you know, but on a personal level, that's different. If you come at me, I'm going to give you everything that's in the tank. That's just how I am.
It sounds like none of these people openly said I don't like.
Agreed.
Because of you did not give him a chance.
But we know that they certainly don't like him afterwards.
Right afterwards, yeah. No words.
But I hope that answered your question, Snicks. Thanks again for writing in. Please continue to do so. Once again, send us emails to bbetgaming@gmail.com if you also want your questions answered. Jeff, where can people find you if they're looking for you on the internet?
So you can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook at SupermanJeff12. You can also find all of us at the BBET Twitch channel. We have some new participants who've been popping on, doing some different streams. Make sure to check them out and show your support. And also, if you haven't already, please join the Discord. It is so much fun in there. We play so many different things on so many different platforms. It's just a wonderful, great community, and you guys make it what it is.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
So, Gamer, how about you? Where can people find you?
StartButtonReview.com. That is start button, like what you find on the controller.com. I am also really active on TikTok. That is Mr.Gamer24. I can also be found at SBRMRGAMER on basically all social media platforms. And my podcast, SBR Reports, is currently playing on all Yeti microphones, Skyrim toilets, and Black-owned studios. I'm kidding, but it is on Spotify.
Nice. So how about you, Blue? Where can people find you?
It's your boy Blue Bones, BLUB0NES. Spell that anywhere and you'll that's pretty much how that works. Yo, our stream team's kicking up. We're starting to get some stuff regularly. I'm really excited about it. Just like Jeff said, join the Discord. It's stuff there. We're meeting a lot of people now from different teams, and they're so great. They're coming in our Discord. We're going there. All kinds of wonderful community and networking. So, get in there. Find a friend. Let's play some games, bro.
Sweet.
But last, but definitely not least, Mr. Sigma, where can we find you?
You can find me at Sigma Gears 9 on pretty much all social media. Sigma and Son on Facebook. You can find my work on the Escapist magazine website and YouTube channel. I want to say I'm on like 4 of the 5 streams that Escapist does on a weekly basis now. So that's pretty cool.
Battletoads was fun. I will say that. Battletoads was super fun.
Oh yeah, that was my most recent review. Yeah, I was playing with Amy Campbell on the new 3MR, which is our post 3-minute reviews streams. Like I host the one on Tuesday, she hosts the one on Friday. Trying to think. There's probably going to be new reviews from me coming up on there this week, so definitely check that stuff out. That's pretty much going to do it, I think. I want to thank my 3 co-hosts once again for doing this show with me. I want to thank everyone who's listening, everyone who's watching. That's going to do it for episode 61. Take care, be well. Peace.
Deuces.
Picture me riding and rolling with models. Brand new Ferraris like we was winning the lotto. And that's the most fathers with me. Pouring the bottle, playing that ONG music that's gonna blow like Chicago. Carry